everyone, welcome to my channel, The Baking Diva. Today I will not be baking. I am coming to you with a very special request that means a lot to me. There are people that say, oh, how can you be friends with someone on YouTube that maybe you've never met in person? Well, I'm here to tell you that you definitely can. And prayers that I'm asking for today, I think many of you know this person. It's from my dear friend Barb, and her channel is Take Control Beauty. I met Barb many years ago on YouTube, and she was not a baking channel, but she had a granddaughter that loved to bake, and I have 4 grandsons who I've always been baking with, and I think we even did a collaboration. And then we had also my youngest grandson with Lucas with her granddaughter Bella, and they did a Valentine's Day collaboration called The Prince and the Frog. So we got to know each other because I also love makeup and skincare, and her channel deals a lot with that, and she reviews wigs. So we just seem to have a lot in common. We're both Italian. We both adore our grandchildren. We talk about them all the time. We both love our makeup, and we just have a lot of the same values. So we became very good friends, and I talk to Barb every single day. We are on mostly Facebook Messenger with the voice, so we're constantly leaving each other voice messages. It's the same as talking on the phone, but if we miss each other, we'll get back to each other later on. Well, I think many of you that know Barb will agree with me that she is one of the nicest people you would ever want to meet. And she loves her YouTube channel. She, let me tell you, will put the effort into not only answering people's comments, but she probably writes a novel. I always tease her because it's very hard to do, and it's very exhausting to get back to everybody, but she does try her best. So to skip ahead, because I don't want this to be too long, just wanted to let you know how Barb and I met, and we're very, very close. So I guess it was back in the summer. Her daughter was getting married and was moving into a new house. And I remember her and her husband Denny going over there to help them move. And I remember at the time there was, I think, a little step going into their garage, and she was bringing something in there, and she had tripped, and she fell and hurt her leg or her knee. So it seems like ever since then, and it seems like maybe the last 8 months or more, she's been having a lot of pain in her back and her leg, and was trying to desperately figure out what was causing it. I mean, the pain started out slowly, and you know, being mature women that we are, we started saying, well, you know, at our age, the arthritis kicks in, and you could have pulled a muscle, it could be nerve pain or whatever. But it just seems like as months went on, the pain seemed to get worse. It wasn't subsiding, and she would go into spasms. But Barb's not one to sit down and twiddle her thumbs, so she was always pushing herself to go out and do things. But the pain kept getting worse and worse and worse. So finally, I guess it was about, I don't know, a month ago or a month and a half ago, well, maybe a short while ago, she just celebrated her 80th birthday. And Barb is 80, and she looks like she's 50. She has this beautiful skin, and she loves to wear her wigs, and she just doesn't look her age at all. So she did a video on, I think it was skincare, her morning routine for skincare. Well, the video went viral. She was absolutely shocked and thrilled. I mean, just overnight, her subscribers kept doubling and tripling, and I don't have the exact amount, but she was well over 400,000 views. She was so excited and so shocked and very happy. And I was very happy for her. I mean, we're friends, and friends want to lift each other up, and there's no competition between us. We have completely different channels. So she was really excited. But at the same time, she was dealing with a lot of pain. So to skip ahead, she went to doctors, and she's had tests done. And this has just been going on, and she was very, very frustrated because she just could not seem to get a diagnosis. And she had MRIs done and x-rays and lots of x-rays and CAT scans, and she was just so upset. She said, I just want a diagnosis. And, she was on medication, to help her with the pain and all. She bought a TENS unit that she would sit in her recliner and put on her back. Her husband, Denny, who is a doll, would, give her these massages, but it just kept getting worse and worse. So finally, to move ahead, doctor said to her, you need a PET scan. We need to do a PET scan. So just, I guess, maybe a little over a week ago, she went and had a PET scan done. Well, she contacted me, and I could hear it in her voice, that the results were not what she had hoped for. Actually, the PET scan showed that she had breast cancer, which she wasn't even thinking about. And they feel that it may have metastasized to her spine because they saw an area on the side of her spine by her back. So from there, I know she's been very upset. Her family's been very concerned. Her daughter, Gina, is a godsend, and her husband, and they've been supporting them, and her two grandsons, Hayden and Bella. They're a very close-knit family. And that's another thing Barbara and I always had in common. We're very close to our families, and they just mean everything to us. So after the PET scan, and they did see that she had breast cancer and something involving her spine, they wanted to set up an appointment for her to go in for a breast biopsy. And they were going to do mammograms and ultrasounds. Now, I know that Barbara had been, we call her Babs, had been remiss in getting her mammogram because things were going on, and unfortunately sometimes life gets in the way and you keep thinking you're going to get these things done and you don't. So, woulda, coulda, shoulda, if maybe they had caught this sooner and she had the mammogram, but it is what it is. So anyway, she did go into her appointment. She went to her appointment the other day, and they did the biopsy, and they did the ultrasounds on both her breasts, and she had mammograms done on both the breasts. Now, she was supposed to go to see the oncologist tomorrow, and they were going to find out exactly what stage cancer she had and what basically their next steps would be. But meanwhile, Barb hasn't been feeling good. I can hear it in her voice. Her voice is very, I should say, it sounds weak, much weaker. Her back pain has been excruciating, and she's been getting very bad back spasms. And she's been nauseous. She hasn't been sleeping. Some of it could have to do with her condition. Some of it could have to do with her medication. I don't know. But anyway, I know Denny, her husband's been very concerned, and he thought maybe she would really be better off in the hospital since, he's not a doctor, he's not a nurse, he does his best to care for her. But, we're not medical professionals. So apparently she has not been feeling well at all. And then she talked to me 2 days ago. On top of this, she was up all night with a terrible toothache. She had to go into the dentist the next morning. It took an hour and a half to pull her tooth. And it was not a good thing. She had been very nervous and anxious about her other condition. And, the dentist said to her, sometimes it takes 5 minutes to pull a tooth, sometimes it takes longer. She said it was an hour and a half to pull the tooth. Well, I spoke to her yesterday, and she told me that they were putting her in the hospital today. So as we speak, Barb is in the hospital. They are hoping, because she thought possibly the other day she was getting dehydrated, and anyway, they decided to put her in the hospital this morning, and then they were hoping that maybe they could get the oncologist and some of the doctors together while she's there, and they can find out the results of all the tests and see where she's going from here. So I don't know how long she's going to be in the hospital. She's there now. She said it might be a few days. She doesn't know. She said she's going to try to contact me maybe tonight when visiting hours are over and let me know how it went. And I said, Barb, you know what? Nobody wants to be in the hospital. But honestly, when you're this sick, it's probably the best place for you to be. I mean, they'll make sure that they're giving you IV and you won't be, dehydrated, and you'll get better care there. So she hasn't been able to eat, and she lost some weight. So anyway, she's very thankful to everybody who supported her video. The fact that it went viral and she made some money that month has really helped to pay a lot of her high co-pays on her medical expenses and everything. And we both agreed, and I have always said this, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. I don't believe in coincidences. I just don't. That's me. And the fact that her video went viral, and it was well deserved, her channel's wonderful, and then right after that, she gets this diagnosis. Maybe that video going viral was meant to be at the time it did to help her financially. So anyway, if she hasn't answered your comments, I know she answered many of them. You'll know why she's not answering any now. I don't know if and when she's going to be putting up another video. Health has to come first. She has to take care of herself. And I guess we'll find out soon where she goes from here. So I just love Barb so much, and she knows I'm on here. She knows I'm doing this video. She's not able to answer any comments now, and I know a lot of you have sent her emails, and I love her too and are showing her concern, but she's just not able right now to answer anything. Her mind is in another place, and it's hard to answer comments. So if she doesn't answer you, you know why, and if you just get a heart, you know that she read your comment, and just understand. So anyway, like I say, we have become such good friends. I mean, we really have. My husband's been ill, and he's been going through some medical procedures. He just had one last Friday, the same day surgery, and he's recovering from that. So any prayers and positive thoughts you can send to Barb, and even my husband, would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And on top of that, to backtrack a little bit, I was talking to my daughter on the phone recently. Now this was going back maybe a couple of weeks ago, and all of a sudden I saw a message come through from Barb, and she said, Dolores, I'm at the hospital. Denny had a heart attack. This was her husband. So, I mean, they say God doesn't give you more than you can handle, but in this case, she's got a lot on her plate. She really does. So anyway, I wanted to come on here and give you an update on Barb, because many of you watched her last video where she did talk to you about getting her diagnosis, etc. But I know you don't know she's in the hospital, and you don't know what else is happening. So anyway, I'm just asking all of you to please pray for Barb. She is such a sweet, good person. She cares about everybody. And I just want you to really pray for her and send her positive thoughts so she can get through this. And also for Denny. Denny had 4 blockages. 2 of them, he had stents put in, but he still has 2 more stents that have to be put in. And, you know, Barb, instead of worrying about herself, she worries about everybody else. She's worrying about if she's in the hospital, she hopes she's not in there too long because, you know, Denny's used to eating, you know, meals with her and all. And I said, Barb, he'll be with you in the hospital. He can get something to eat in the hospital. Don't worry about it. And luckily, her daughter Gina works in the hospital. I forget if she's a social worker, and she's in the emergency room a lot. But they're working it out so Barb can be in that same hospital that Gina is in. And I said, Barb, that'll be wonderful because Gina can maybe pop in and out of your room. And, you know, just knowing she's there is going to make you feel more comfortable. So anyway, you all who stayed with me this long to listen to this, there is more, but I tried to move ahead as fast as I could just to let you know that hopefully soon I'll know more about what her biopsy and her PET scan showed and how long she's going to be in the hospital when she'll be home. And I will try to update that for you. Okay? So you know, I love you all. So if any of you that are subscribers of mine have friends that may know Barb that are not subscribers of mine, please pass on this information to them because there's, how do they say? A lot of strength in prayer. And the more people that pray, the better it is. So thank you all for hanging in. I just ad-libbed all this. I didn't write anything down and I just said what came to my head. But I really just do love Barb so much and I just worry about her constantly. And that's why she sent me a message last night and let me know she was going to be in the hospital today. In case I tried to reach her, I wouldn't be nervous.